Today, we're diving into something really special, a powerful project of remembrance, a living archive that's all about setting the record straight and reclaiming a history that was stolen.
So I want to start with a question. It's a little direct, I know, but it gets right to the heart of everything. Just take a second and really think about it. Why are the saints, the ones you see in pictures and statues, almost always white?
And this isn't just some abstract idea. It's a real, lived experience. The founder of the Saints of Afrika project talks about this exact moment, at just 10 years old, noticing that every single image of holiness seemed to belong to only one kind of person. That feeling, that observation, that's the seed for everything we're about to explore.
And let's be clear, this wasn't an accident. It wasn't just a simple oversight in the history books. It was deliberate. It was the theft of something so much deeper than any physical resource.
Just think about that for a second. The whole machinery of empire, it wasn't satisfied with just taking land, gold, and labor. No, it went further. It tried to steal the very idea of the sacred from the people it wanted to control. This was a psychological colonization, just as much as a physical one.
So, how in the world did this happen? How do you rewrite an entire continent's history and reframe its heritage so effectively? Well, let's break down the mechanics of this machinery of erasure.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It's such a powerful and honestly painful summary. See, it wasn't just about erasing what was there. It was about replacing it with a foreign version and then selling that new version back as the only real way to be holy.
And here's how they did it, how they just relabeled genius. You had African builders creating incredible structures that are still standing thousands of years later, and they were dismissed as backward. You had healers with this deep, profound knowledge of medicine and community wellness, and they were reframed as witch doctors.
And the distortion just kept going. The scribes, the keepers of memory and history, were told their people had no written history. Despite these vast libraries and incredibly rich oral traditions. And the warriors who defended their homes with brilliant strategy, they were just branded as savages.
And finally, the dreamers, the artists, the poets, the visionaries were told they had no imagination. The bridges, leaders who unified diverse groups of people, they saw their work completely undone, their people split apart by artificial borders. It was a complete and systematic dismantling of an entire civilization's identity. But here's where the story pivots. Because from the problem, from this deep erasure, we move to a powerful solution, to restoration. So let's look at the project built to fight back against this theft, a living archive designed to remember and restore.
Because what they could never, ever take was the truth, the undeniable facts of history. That Imhotep was a genius architect, that Queen Zinga was an undefeated military commander for 40 years, that Wangari Maathai was a visionary who planted millions of trees, that Fela Kuti and Chinua Achebe were cultural revolutionaries. This truth, this is the foundation.
So what is Saints of Afrika? It's exactly what it sounds like, a digital sanctuary. It's a living, breathing archive for ancestors and elders, not just from the continent, but from the entire diaspora. We're talking from ancient Kemet all the way to modern-day Brooklyn. It's a space to finally collect and honor these stories. And the goal isn't to create some perfect, sanitized version of history. Not at all. It's about showing the whole picture. The excellence, yes, but also the complexity, the wholeness. It's about seeing ourselves reflected in the full, raw, revolutionary truth of who these people have always been.
Now, to structure this huge project, they use this absolutely brilliant framework to help us understand and categorize this ancestral genius. It's called the 6 Sacred Callings, and it basically gives us a new language to decolonize the very idea of what a contribution even is.
And here they are, the builders, the ones who create systems, the healers, who mend what's broken, the scribes, who preserve the truth, the warriors, who defend what is sacred, the dreamers, who imagine new worlds, and the bridges, who connect and unify us. By creating these archetypes, we get a new way to see these patterns of genius everywhere, in history, in our neighborhoods, and even in ourselves.
And what I absolutely love is how they frame this. It's not some personality quiz. The question isn't, which one are you? It's which one does this moment need from you? Wow. That just completely transforms it from a history lesson into a direct call to action, right now.
And that, right there, brings us to the final and maybe most important point. This whole project isn't about looking backwards and feeling nostalgic. No way.
It's about arming ourselves for today and for the future. This kind of memory is a tool. It's ammunition for liberation.
This quote, it just says it all. There's a power, a certain kind of confidence that comes from knowing, truly knowing that you come from people who built cities from dust and turned incredible pain into progress. It changes how you carry yourself, how you see the world, and what you believe you can do.
So the whole mission really boils down to this beautifully clear three-part mantra. First, you remember what was taken. Then, you restore what is sacred. And finally, standing on that foundation, you rise into who you are truly meant to be.
And in the end, this is why it all matters so much. Because real, lasting liberation, it can't just be fueled by anger. It needs a foundation. It needs memory, so you know where you come from. It needs models to show you what's possible. And it needs that sacred imagination to dream a better world into existence.
So, we're going to end where we started, with a question. But this time, it's more personal. Who was the first saint in your life? That elder, that ancestor, the neighbor, the mentor whose stories shaped you. Really thinking about that person. That's the first step to building this archive for yourself.